So we tried to do it from the bottom. We couldn't get it down. So what you gotta do is try to put your hand down here and see if you can get to the two sockets, the two bolts. All right, we don't have much room, so we have to get a very thin ratchet and see if we can break it loose. So we have a low profile ratchet. It's very thin, so we're going to see if we can get it down at the bottom. We have to use our hand, and basically we have to go down from this angle and see if we can get it on there. We're able to break it loose, and now we're going to loosen up the bottom bolts with our fingers, and then we'll do the top second. So on these Torx, it's a good idea. You can use an actual 10 millimeter after you broke it loose. So this way you can at least be able to do it fast, because you really don't have room to put a power tool on there. Now, the top bolts you can pull out. The bottom ones have to stay in the alternator. Make sure they stay in there when you put the new one in, when you get ready to put it out there. Now we got to move the water hoses, the lower radiator hose out of the way. So when you're working on this, be careful not to lean on any of these pieces, because that's 150,000 miles there, and it being a 2011, plastic can be brittle and it can break, and you really don't want a expensive repair that's not needed at the time. Once we pulled out the alternator, now we can get to the plug. So it's best to just go ahead and do the plugs right here before you pull the alternator out, and then when you get ready to do it, you reverse it. You put the plugs back in, and you make sure you know which direction the wires are going in, especially on the positive side. This has a cover on the back side. You just basically got to run a screwdriver, a small one, from this side and pop it out and save it. This is a good dust protector, corrosion protector. It saves it. So now we can get to the nut on the back side, and that's a 13 millimeter. Pretty much self-explanatory. It pretty much goes down at this angle one way, and once you get it in, you can remove it, and then you can get the wire out of the way. Now that we disconnected the battery, I don't have to worry about shorting anything out. But there's a little bit of corrosion on this. I'm going to clean this up. This car originally came from up north when I bought it from the original owner. Trying to pull it out, it's hitting on this. I don't want to take the air pump out unless I have to. So there's a clip on the back. You pry that up and you slowly slide this out. Be very careful because it's been on there for a while. Kind of move it over to the side, and this shit pulls straight out. You look at both alternators. You make sure everything seems to be the same, comparing to the new one and the old one. And then usually they come with new bolts, but you need to make sure everything is connected, because sometimes manufacturers make mistakes. So everything seems to be, but I'll check it by hand. This is how this goes in. Go like that, scoot over, down around the fan, it sits right here, and then you set the alternator right over the radiator hose and get ready to plug in. Put the electrical positive terminal on, and then put in the plug. Don't forget to sand down your terminal, and you can put some dielectric grease on there, extra corrosion protection. So you start, once you get past the hose and you make sure both bolts are still at the bottom, you bolt up this part up here first. Then you put this one on and get a few threads in with your finger, because you'll have to support the alternator up and use your fingers to tighten it up. So once you know you got two good threads on, two good ones on the front, you can start spinning it with your fingers. And on the bottom, you do the same thing to make sure it goes in. I put a little lubrication so make it easier to go back in so it doesn't cross thread. So you might have to adjust it a little bit before it goes in, or it might just go right in with no problems. And this is basically when you're putting the bolts back in. Forget your 10 gear wrench, because it flexes. It makes tightening up the bolts on the top a lot quicker than you trying to do it with your fingers like that. So when you're tightening it up and it starts getting tighter, this about maybe 8 inches lengthwise, you don't want to put any more torque. This is maximum torque. So it tightens up, tighten it a little bit more, and that's it. Don't overdo it if it doesn't want to go anymore. You've got it pretty much tight, so it's probably be about a good 26 foot-pounds of torque. It's got 4 bolts, so it should be good to go. And all you have to do is put the tool back on here and line it up. You'll have to, I need both my hands. Once you got it on there, just run your finger around all the areas like the power steering pump. At least looks like, yeah, power steering pump, AC compressor, water pump, and all the idlers. Make sure the belt is actually on there, because if you start it up and it's off, it's gonna pop right off or it's gonna shred it. I have no idea what this is, but it usually goes right here with the hose, the heater hose assembly. So I'll just put it back where it was, and that's where it was when I put it together. So the reverse order is basically putting this clip back in, putting the bolt on, and securing this clip in place, and then you're good to go. Make sure you clip this on the bottom first, and then you get it up here, and then you can tighten this up. And that's it, not much. And this part is ready to roll, and then you can put the air filter back on it, because I changed the air filters, and fire up and test it out. Then don't forget to hook up the battery afterwards. Now that the alternator is done, we can hook it up. Basically, put one hand here, one hand there, and push down both at the same time once you got it lined up and all the hooks, and this stays in place. That concludes your alternator install, less than an hour. Easy peasy. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and push the like button.